I'm reviewing Birdman, starring Michael Keaton, Emma Stone, Edward Norton, and Holly from The Office. I'm just gonna say Holly from The Office. Now, this film is getting a lot of Academy Award nominations. It's winning awards left to right. I mean, it's like this: critics kissing its ass. I'm gonna be real with you guys. I'm going to tell you how I feel about. I always tell you how I feel about every movie I watch, whether I like it or I don't, what I think works, I think doesn't work. If I saw Avengers 2 and I didn't like it, I'm not going to be afraid to say I didn't like it just because other people said it's amazing, it deserves awards, this and that. Now, this is going to be a spoiler review, just to let you guys know right now. I'm going to tell you the things that I did like and the things I just thought just didn't work. And right now, off the bat, I like the movie. It really, that first act I thought was just boring, very slow. I mean, it was just boring. I just didn't feel connected in that first act. Now, but overall, though, I did like the movie. It really picks up in the second act and really just keeps going through, well, maybe half the second act and really just finishes off strong. But that first act, that beginning, it's just so slow. It's like, really, I know it's setting everything up, but honestly, I just didn't feel connected with Michael Keaton's character. I just didn't feel connected in general with the movie and what they wanted to do. Honestly, I didn't know anything about this film, what it was all about. I just knew basically Michael Keaton was this superhero called Birdman. Excuse me, Birdman, and he used to have a past where he was successful. Now he's just kind of like in the dumps. Now he's trying to rejuvenate his career somehow. I had no clue this was going to be about pretty much him staging a play, and the whole movie works like a play, which is actually pretty cool. I loved the camera work in this film. I thought this film was beautifully shot. Cinematography was great. The acting, Michael Keaton gets better, like I said, in the second act and throughout. I thought Edward Norton was great. I thought the real shine was Emma Stone and Zach Galifianakis. Yes, Zach Galifianakis is in this film. I thought those two were really great in the film. I thought they were the bright spots. And like I said, Michael Keaton really picks it up as the film goes along. And Edward Norton and him, they got good chemistry. A lot of the characters, when they're interacting with each other, had good chemistry. I think I really enjoyed Edward Norton, and when he was talking to Emma Stone, and they had that flirtatious going on. They were meeting at the rooftops. I really liked that. I like the truth and dare game, even though we see the truth and dare game all the time in movies. I liked how Michael Keaton really caught them. Not catch them making love, but you see that one part where they're kissing, they're flirting and stuff. But Michael Keaton plays it cool, kind of. I did love the interactions between Michael Keaton and Edward Norton. That fight that they have was funny when he punches him right in the nose. I mean, this movie is so... The camera work, though. I can't talk so much. The camera work was awesome. Sometimes I wish they would have pulled it back a little bit, but it was really in your face. It really seemed like a play, like you're on stage and you were acting with these other actors. The camera was always focused on the eyes. I loved how the camera really just stayed on one of the actors or actresses when they're delivering their line, when they're in this intense scene, like the scene with Michael Keaton and Emma Stone when he figures out that she's smoking pot, she's in rehab and this and that, and she really tells him that you don't exist, this play doesn't matter, you don't matter. And instead of breaking away from Emma Stone and going to see Michael Keaton's reaction, we stay on Emma Stone. And you could just tell by her whole facial expression that she did something wrong, that Michael Keaton is feeling really, really bad. So I loved how the camera, instead of just normally cutting away and seeing how the other person react, we react with the person that said these mean things. So I thought that was great. Great camera work. And never, it never fades out. It always just keeps going like a play. Like it always just keeps going, never fit, and there's never any fade out. It usually go up, and then it go from night to day, and then come back down. It just never just took away from the place you were at, and it always changed like places as well. So it really was kind of like you're watching this play going on, and you're on sets. But basically, you gotta work what you have on the stage. So it was really great how the camera work played around and how it just kept moving and really kept you on your toes. Really loved the camera work. I gotta say, it was like it was so the camera work was just as good as maybe Martin Scorsese's camera work, and that's saying something. Like, it really took me back to the Goodfella days, with that long, big ass kind of shot, the continuous shot. Very great. Gotta say, the music was funky. The music was very funky. I guess it really worked for the advantage of this film, but I don't know. I can't go too on board with the score of this movie, but it worked in a strange way. And I mean, this is a strange movie. I mean, look at Michael Keaton. In the very beginning scene, when we first meet him, he's like levitating. I was like, what the hell is this movie about? Is he really a superhero in disguise, or is he, dreaming of all this stuff? And we find out that basically he's imagining a lot of this stuff that's going on. Now, like I said, the negatives is that first act, though, like right in the beginning. The reason why it bored me because there's really nothing, really kicking it off. Like the interactions between Michael Keaton and a lot of these other actors and actresses is like it really didn't do too much for me. The story wasn't really going anywhere. We just knew that he has a play. He's, an actor, this and that, to get Edward Norton. Things are not working out. It really just starts picking up when, the rift happens between Edward Norton and Michael Keaton, when Edward pretty much is saying, I'm the star and you're not really the star. You're just a movie star. So I get the whole pretty much them playing around like basically what real art is and what art is not. Like they made a jab at pretty much movies in general, like people like explosions, people like superheroes. They don't like to sit down and just be like this movie, be a slow movie and just be all about dialogue or all about character and their arcs and this and that. And that's not true. I really do like The Imitation Game. I think it's a fantastic film. And even Nightcrawler, even though that does have a couple action scenes, still a great scenery chewer. Like these actors that are chewing up the scenery and great arcs. With this, like I said, the first act just doesn't work. It doesn't engage me. I was just bored. But like I said, in the second half of the second act, or in the middle of the movie, it just starts working because these characters are now spread out and they're interacting with other characters. And we see Michael Keaton really just struggle on these preview nights leading up to the opening night and him having to deal with this critic. Now, some of the scenes I really, really liked, or I thought was so bizarre that it was awesome, was basically, I'll go straight from when he gets stuck, when he goes out to have a smoke and he gets stuck on the robe, and he has to like leave the robe and try to go all the way back to the front entrance and get in to finish off the play. And he's running through the crowd and they're filming him. He's all in his undies. And then he puts that toupee on. And he has like little finger. He's like, oh, love, what's going on here? And this and that. And then he gets on stage and they hand him a gun. I thought that was hysterical. I thought that was funny. That was one of the best parts of the movie. And then when he starts thinking about Birdman and he's walking down the street after he has his bender and Birdman's floating right behind him. I thought that was so bizarre, but I thought it was so funny when he goes, oh, with the little caw sound. It was, oh man, Michael Keaton, his Batman days. It's Batman. It's Batman, basically. Like I said, Michael Keaton does a fantastic job. Does he deserve an Oscar? I don't think he does. I think he did a fantastic job towards the middle and the end, but that beginning was so-so. I mean, Michael Keaton's a great actor, but I just don't think he was. I think this film is kind of a little bit overrated. I really do. I mean, it's a good film. Don't get me wrong, but it's just nothing you're definitely not going to rewatch. I don't think it's really rewatchable. I understand what this movie's trying to do. I understand the thought of it, the philosophy in it. I get it. All right, I get it. But it just didn't. Like I said, it starts getting really good in that second, like the half of a movie. But overall, if you want to be best picture, it has to really get you the whole movie. And best picture is not only directing, which I think the direction is really amazing in this film, or the cinematography. They have that check. The music, you can go either way on that, the score. But you got to also have screenwriting, and somewhere down the line, I think the screenwriter should have like did something to make that first act maybe a little bit more better paced. The tone was great. The tone was I thought the tone worked, but the pacing just needed it needed some rewrite somewhere around that line. I mean, like I said, man. I mean, the acting really just hit it home towards the very end. I can't think of anything else that was overall really amazing. I thought that was so funny when when he's like, cue the music, and then he jumps off the roof and he starts flying. Now the very ending, I don't want to think too much of it. I mean, my friend really did pick up something really cool. It's like Emma Stone's looking down when you think, when Michael Keaton's basically, he jumps off the out of the window, and you think he's flying and stuff. You think it's his imagination. And Emma Stone is wondering where her dad is, and then you see her down. She's looking sad. You hear the ambulance, but then she looks up and she's happy. I think he really did die at the end. I think he kind of screwed up. He tried to kill himself at the play, but he missed, or he did something. So I thought that was great, though. The last scene, the opening night when he does that last scene where he has the gun and stuff, and he has the real gun. I thought Michael Keaton's performance really just went up on that scene. I thought he did a great job right there. The bad thing is, like, they kind of threw Edward Norton out of the way. Like, he was done after him and Emma Stone hooked up. So that was kind of like, all right, just leave him out, just leave him in the dust. I guess that's it. We don't need his character anymore. Some of the actresses in here got kind of shunned down. I mean, I would have liked to see more, see what happened more of these two characters, like the main actress who's very thankful for Michael Keaton, help to give her this opening night. And then, of course, his girlfriend, Holly, of course. I mean, I could see maybe the writers like, okay, we don't need these characters anymore because they're already done. Their arc's done. But I feel like you could have branched out a little bit more, give us a little bit more. I didn't feel connected with any of these characters as much as I wanted to. I wanted more. I wanted to see more out of the actresses and story-wise. Now, I mean, that's it. That's really covers it all. I didn't like the first act. That was boring. I mean, my friend was actually falling asleep out here. Had to wake him up a couple times, but like I said, that second half of the movie really picked up, really saved it, and I thought it turned out to be really good. Best picture, best movie of 2014? No, I don't think so. Honestly, it really depends on your taste, but I would put Imitation Game, I would put Nightcrawler up there. Hell, I liked different kind of movie. You can't really put it right there, but I liked American Sniper a lot. I mean, what else in 2004? I like John Wick from 2004. It's not my best, of course, but I would say Imitation Game really, if you want to go best picture, I haven't seen any of the rest of the movies, but I got to go Imitation Game so far has really stuck out of my brain for best picture. Do I recommend this movie? No, I don't recommend you paying to see it in the movie theaters. I think, especially since it's an indie flick, I think you should wait till it hits Netflix or hits the DVD area. So I can't recommend it movie theater wise, but I can recommend it renting it on DVD. Now, of course, if you don't want to pay to see basically Michael Keaton in this role that you haven't seen him done before, go watch his other movies. I mean, Michael Keaton's a really awesome actor. He's really, balances it out. I mean, he's good. He's really funny in Beetlejuice. He's great in the original Batman and Batman Returns. I liked him in the other guys. He makes so many funny references. Michael Keaton's a cool guy. I'm going to see him tomorrow in Santa Barbara, so I'll have some footage for you guys there. So that's it. I don't recommend it. I'm sorry. But I do recommend you maybe checking it out on Netflix if you have time, whatever. It was a great movie. It was a good movie, but it just I just can't get past that first act. So thank you guys for listening. And once again, I got to say, hey, get a tick, grab a seat, Get some good popcorn to eat. I'll see you at the cinema, guys.